Right.
Okay, so Ghislane Maxwell. I know we've kind of. I don't want to say that we've deliberately clickbaited, but we've done pod episodes where we said, okay, we're going to talk about Ghislane Maxwell and things.
Massively
And,
digressed.
and then we spent 10 minutes on Ukrainian assassinations and money laundering, which is a cool topic, but it's not what we're meant to be talking about. So, Ghislane Maxwell, documents are being unsealed. They were unsealed on Friday, and they were published with details implicating, the Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew. There was one more.
Chris Tucker, wasn't it?
Chris Tucker. I don't know who he is. Dershowitz.
Have you seen Rush Hour?
No.
The black guy in Rush Hour, basically.
Okay, fine. So we got those people, and then obviously there have been a bunch of other names that have been redacted from those documents.
Yep.
So we have no clue who they are, basically.
So just to put into perspective,
Yeah.
the FBI knew about these people from 2011, so they've decided 9 years later, after Netflix
Yeah.
had put out a documentary, we're going to go look into this. Blows my mind. Why? How many things, don't get me wrong, and I'm trying not to digress or anything like that, but how many times have secret agencies or whatever their investigation agency, whatever you want to call them, we've had terrorist attacks in the UK where it was saying, oh yeah, the MI6 or MI5 or whoever else, where they knew about them. It's like, well, FBI knew about this as well, so why don't you do something about it to prevent it? Why don't you go and try and unfold it before it comes out onto the public scene and then basically scares the crap out of everyone with how many child trafficking cases there could have been?
Exactly. The thing makes no sense. They had the Prince Andrew photo. I definitely know that they had that since 2011, which is mad in itself. And he's still not cooperating. He says publicly that he's going to cooperate, but he never does.
No.
And the FBI says that he's still yet to get in contact.
It's him not remembering that photo, yet he remembers putting his sweaty arm around that girl.
And he remembers going to Pizza Express in Woking. Would a prince be able to just walk into a Pizza Express?
I mean, he's not really he's technically not part of the royal family anymore, is he? Because of all this stuff.
Well, he is. He still gets paid from the Queen.
Oh.
He just doesn't do royal duties.
So our tax just
Yeah.
goes and pays for his shit.
We're paying paedophiles.
That's the title.
Yep. There's the title. We are though. We are, seriously. And Harry. It's funny because Harry and Meghan have left the royal family, and they're not taking money from them anymore. I don't know how they're making money.
Well, just having the name, isn't it? That he used to be a prince in the royal family in the UK. And I think once they said they're not going to take money anymore, Disney have signed a contract with Meghan Markle that it's going to be $6 million a year or something silly like that. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, she's a good actor. She's been in Suits and whatnot, but not an actor good enough to go and sign a $6 million a year contract. Exactly. That's all it is, and it's the fame that they've gone and taken them with them. So will he be able to get a job that's realistic without a company being like, oh, we just want you for your name? No.
He was in the army for a bit, and to be fair, he set up the Invictus Games and things, but he hasn't, to my knowledge, I don't know.
When you say he set up the Invictus Games, he said, oh yeah, we'll do that. He had a load of people work for him, done that for him. Like, oh, well, there you go, that's sorted out. Did he actually project manage it? I very highly doubt a royal family member would do that.
We're digressing. We need to get back to...
Very true.
We need to get back to these to these documents. And it's so hard because we're speculating, basically, because we don't actually know much of what's in them.
Yeah, all the names have been retracted, haven't they? So it's very difficult to say, well, he's at fault, this has happened. It's very plainly worded that something has happened, but no one knows who it is because the names have been taken away.
Yeah, exactly. And what always confused me was the fact that he went from having... what was it? He went from being this university professor or lecturer, right? And then he somehow becomes Anthony Dershowitz. He has the power of attorney over Anthony Dershowitz's estate, which basically means that he gets to control his finances. and his personal life. How he made the jump from that, they just left a massive blank in the documentary, and nobody really seems to have well, there are obviously going to be people who know, but to my knowledge, there hasn't been anything that's come out about that. So it's that period of time which seems to be the most crucial in setting up all of this, and I suspect, and I would hope, that a lot of that would be in those documents to fill in those blanks.
You would think there'll be someone on the case to find out what's been going on, because I don't know if you've seen the documentary Don't Fuck with Cats.
No, I haven't.
But you've had 2 people, 3 people, a handful of people where they've literally got an investigator through that weren't FBI, and they sat there and they for however many days. So I feel like this could be, and there's got to be someone in the world who's doing this right now, who's looking into how Epstein got to where he did, because you are right. He went from lying about his experience to get this job at university or whatever, and then he went on to just managing a load of finances for a load of really powerful people. It went, where's the jump there? Like, how did that happen? Which, you know, I'm not saying Netflix are shit producers or anything like that, because they could have had limited resources as well to be able to actually publish that. But it's very interesting to see what the actual outcome is going to be out of this, because I would assume they're protecting her very well at the moment, so she wouldn't hang herself in a cell, where Epstein apparently did. But
He didn't.
No. That's why I think it will be very interesting over the next few months and how this turns out to be, because if she is guilty, which I don't think she will be found guilty, because I think there will be someone pulling strings, or she'll rat someone out, or whatever the case will be, she won't be sat in prison for a very, very long time. It'll be very interesting to see how the world is going to react to that, because if there's going to be some stuff that's going to come out as evidence to say that there's been this amount of trafficking involved, and, you know, girls that are just 18, so technically they're not girls, they're women, or I don't know if it's 21 in some states in America or how that works. I would have thought it's 18, but either way it's I want to see what the reaction of the world's going to be when this all blows over, because I want some kind of answers to what has been going on behind the scenes, because I don't know if she's been pulling the strings, you don't know if he was the one pulling the strings for him, you just don't know. It's just something that you want to find out, because this documentary has really scared a load of people into how many other trafficking cases would have been, and of course this is a very popular one. There's however many don't want to think about, and I hope I'm wrong, but however many other thousands of cases there have been, people like Epstein doing the same thing with, you know, Madeleine McCann. It could have been another kind of gang that's been doing that sort of shit, which is scary.
It's very scary to think about, and I had something ready, and then I just forgot it to say, which is really, really annoying me. It was shit. That's really going to fuck me off now. Damn it.
What was it in relation to?
In relation to what you were just saying. Oh yeah. No celebrities have come out and are happy about this. And I just remembered what it was I was going to say. So, I've been seeing a lot of this on TikTok, so take it with a grain of salt. But people have since found out, it's since been doing the rounds on TikTok about Princess Diana and the way that she came to die, because she obviously died after divorcing from Prince Charles. She supposedly was ready to expose a bunch of really shitty things about the royal family, because the royal family were really terrible to her towards the end and treated her really, really badly. And people are theorising, are guessing that this could be due to not just Prince Andrew, but also some other really shitty things behind the scenes that the royal family gets up to that we're not aware of, because they do live quite private lives, I would say. They don't put too much out there. And we just, there's so much that they do that we don't know about. There has to be. So, this is the theory basically, that the royal family are massive scumbags, and behind the scenes that we potentially don't know about, and that's even scarier to think about, because these people take a shit ton of our money. Massive theory, I know.
it is, and it's like you, without trying to digress too far off, a few years ago, people looked at Seb Blatter and they thought, oh, what a lovely old man, he wouldn't do anything wrong. Of course, you got that. And we've got the Queen, where you're saying, you know, the scumbags, and you look at her and you think, oh, she wouldn't do anything, she's harmless. We just don't know, and you can't really judge a person by how they look.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying she's a scumbag whatsoever, I'm just saying we've got to keep in mind, like you said,
an open mind.
What they do, they don't have to tell anyone.
Yeah.
And they live a very luxurious life where they don't have to do anything, and they get everything they want. And when I say everything, we mean everything. So, I see where you're coming from, but it's one of those things where, because they are the royal family and because they can do everything they want, it's not going to be something that's going to be resolved in our lifetime, I don't think.
I don't think so. I think it would have to get to a really, really dire stage, like economically, before there was even talks of becoming a republic or whatever. Like, that's
looking at numbers though, the royal family bring in something like 45 billion pounds worth of tourism into the country, and you know, whether that involves people coming in to see the royal family or people just buying merchandise and whatnot, it brings in a lot of money. And I think to keep the royal family, they were saying that they spent a few years ago, so this is probably not up to date, but I remember they were saying it was 2.3 billion. So with those numbers, there's a 42 billion pound income coming in, which you're not going to say no to.
No, sure, yeah.
But what you're saying is we need to actually start monitoring what they're doing and start seeing, having some kind of justifications for what they're doing, because they can't continue going around being involved in
Child
being
sex
nonsense.
crimes.
Yeah, and that's completely understandable. I'm all for it.
Yeah, because in a set they do represent the country.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, Prince Andrew has always had this entitled view on monarchy and things. He always insisted that his children have royal titles and things, even though they're nowhere near to becoming the Queen or King of England. Yeah. And you contrast that with his sister Anne, who's really down to earth. You know, her children didn't have royal titles and things. They, you know, like Zara Phillips, she's now married a professional rugby player. Fair play. But that's not who you would expect necessarily a member of the royal family to marry. And she's also an Olympic champion, and she seems very down to earth and things. What I'm trying to get at is, we need to try and get rid of this whole entitlement from the royal family, that they can go around and do whatever they want with impunity. Now, obviously, you have a degree of wealth, which means that there are just some things that you're going to be able to do that you and I aren't, which is fine. But you can't be involved in child sex crimes and expect to get away with it.
No, that's completely right. So I think with that, I think that concludes it very well with this Ghislane Maxwell episode, where we kind of digress to the royal family. But again, they both, there is a link to it.
Yeah.
So hopefully you've enjoyed this episode, and thanks for listening or watching, and tune in for the next one.
Yeah, see you again next time. Cheers, guys.